everybody. Sorry I'm slightly late, which is okay. I was setting things up. I had to switch to a different browser because for some reason Facebook was acting up on Firefox. I had to drop Opera because Opera kept crashing. So I said goodbye to Opera, switched everything over and said goodbye to Opera, and now I'm on Firefox and Edge. So I use Edge as my backup because there's some websites that don't handle Firefox or not compatible. So, really they should make everything generally compatible. It should not make a difference. Uh, more than anything. Um, well, today it's 47 degrees here. It's cloudy and batten down the hatches. There is a major storm system coming in. A couple, two or three behind it. It's going to hit the west coast. Then it's going to trek over to the Midwest. Hey, Dorothy. To the Midwest. And then it's going to hit the East Coast. And it depends on what the trajectory is going to hit. A lot of snow and ice and blizzard conditions and everything, especially in the Midwest. Because the Midwest doesn't really have a, well, how would you put it? Good mountain shielding, prevent storms like that. Whereas we do get it here, but it would have to be really intense to hit here in Washington State. Because we got a mountain, coastal mountain range, which really pretty much protects us from really super bad weather. California is not so lucky because the storm hits them first, then the Sierras and Sierra Mountain Ranges, Santa Bernardino Mountain Range, down in California. Then it goes over the Rockies and then it hits the Midwest. It kind of goes like this and goes after them, or, hits it. So, batten down the hatches and just make sure you've got all your supplies and everything else. And you stay warm and everything, and check up on your neighbors, keep in touch with your kids, grandkids, or any of your friends, that type of thing. You say, hey, I'm doing good here. Of course, to our surprise, President Biden pulled off a sneak. He stuck out of the country, basically. He went over to visit President Zelensky over in Ukraine to bolster strong support for Ukraine and tell Russia to go take a flying leap. Putin needs to give it up already. He's already lost one of his weapon systems now. I think Ukraine took it out. Needs to give it up. He really does. And I think now all the Baltic states need to really tell Putin go take a flying leap. And I understand Putin really has some serious health issues. And frankly, the guy just needs to resign, retire, and face the consequences for his actions. I think President Biden's doing a wonderful job. I really do. And, I really hate to think what would happen if Trump did remain in office. Trump probably ignore it. Knowing him, he's so obtuse on everything. Can't stand the guy. So basically, we're giving Russia the middle finger. On the diplomatic side, that's the only language that they understand. And Putin needs to be given the boot, He's not helping anybody by doing this. And what he's doing is crimes against humanity, doing crimes against another sovereign country. He has no reason whatsoever to invade Ukraine. And I think now the people of Russia just should bowl them over, the government officials bowl them over, and the Russian army is in tatters anyway. It's not very strong anymore. Go arrest him, throw him in jail, and get a proper democratic government in there. You know, this has to stop. We got other problems that we need to deal with. Wars is what we don't need. And right now, of course, you know, another earthquake has hit Turkey this morning. It was a 6.3. It was near the town of Hatay. I don't know how far that is from the capital of Turkey. Right now, they said 3 people are dead and 213 were injured, but majority of those that were experienced the 7.8 earthquake 2 weeks ago are homeless and they're living out in camps. And they have a fault line that's really restless, and that's part of the problem. Poor guys. I really feel sorry for them. But there's a lot of international organizations, humanitarian organizations helping them on this, and everything else. And they should also guard against corruption too. Because those that do corruption or do crimes, to take advantage of people that are down and out, that commit those crimes, they're the ones that should be in jail. You just don't do that to your fellow humans. Period. Whatsoever. So my prayers are to them and hope that they really get the help that they need and try to rescue as many people as they can. I hope not another earthquake hits there in that region. Right now they're experiencing aftershocks, so hard to say what the continent in that area is doing. There's studies done. They're finding out a lot of the continents are either drifting closer together or drifting further apart. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it and rely on the geological societies around the world to monitor all this. Now, I read an article which is kind of funny. Well, it's funny and not funny. You know, MTG of Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, the so-called congresswoman, she made a weird comment that she thinks Georgia should resign from the Union, resign from the United States government, or the United States itself, that would succeed, like Texas. And she needs to go back and do her homework and find out what the process is for that. She's still poorly educated on that. On that issue, and Congress will not allow that to happen, ever. Congress will just tell Georgia no. Frankly, I think Congress itself should just give her the boot and give Santos a boot, and Boebert, Jordan, and McCarthy. Give them the boots. Think, we don't want you guys anymore. We don't want you endangering people and not following the law and things are set up. The reason why the laws are there. Reason why the laws are there is because you have people like them committing those crimes. That's why the laws are there. That's why the procedures are there. Do they understand it? No, I don't think so. Frankly, I think they need to be given a slap in the back of the head just to knock some sense into them. But, there are those that are not very, very smart. And you go, no, that's not how it works. If I had the chance, I'd tell it to her right in her face. I go, you know, Green, if you're not going to do your job for your constituents, then you need to resign and get out of there and crawl back under a rock where you came from. You just don't do that to your constituents. You're not doing the state of Georgia any favors by doing what you're doing. And the mega rats, which I call them, they're living their own little dream world. And you know what? If they don't like it here, then they could go buy an island somewhere and have their own little utopia and not hurt or bother people here. They're big on the political side, if you've heard or read about it. If you get a chance, Dorothy, yeah, she does need to go. If you get a chance, Dorothy, watch the Midas Touch. They're a liberal network, news network on YouTube. They have lawyers they have people there on the side of the law, lawyers like former prosecutors and everything else, that explain how things work as far as cases go. They're now saying that there's very close to an indictment against Trump. They just want to make sure Justice Department and Georgia Justice Department wants to make sure the cases are airtight. So airtight that he can't wiggle out of it. So he needs to be put in jail for what he's done and what he did. And Trump is not very smart. He keeps incriminating himself. Well, I kind of signed back onto Twitter to see what it's doing. And there is no sign of he who shall not be named anywhere. He's not on there. He didn't even post anything there. So they're like saying no. Even during that stupid subcommittee thing that Goldberg and Green were yelling about and everything, and not understanding how Twitter works, how social platforms work. They think that Trump should be back on there. And go, no. He broke enough serious rules in there that he should not belong on a platform. Anytime I join a social platform, I check out the rules, the regulations, because they're put there for a reason. And sure, I may not agree with it, but, and some of the things, but they also welcome suggestions, so you can put suggestions to them. Some offer that, some don't. Facebook, for whatever reason, doesn't. They won't listen to their users. But I'm on Facebook because of this, because of the live. I can only go live here on Facebook. YouTube doesn't have a. You have to get up to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and 1,000 viewers in order to go live on YouTube. When that does happen, then I will, switch over to YouTube solely. But right now I can't. The only thing I could do is I could post my videos on YouTube. Um, Now, I don't know about Tribble. I would have to check them out. Find out what their setup is. Because from what I understand, each social platform specializes in a certain area. There are some that specialize in, what's it called? Well, Tribble is similar to Facebook, except they don't put people in Facebook jail because of certain perceptions, which Facebook does. Facebook had better be careful because they're going to find a new social platform popping up, and it will replace them. People will move over there. Now, I go on Facebook because I like their game. They have their games and everything set up from Mega Zebra games and everything else. So it's really cool. And I watch that or play those. I play most of my games here on my cell phone. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we need to work on. We really do. Now, as of last Friday, there have been a number of rocket launches. Mainly SpaceX has launched 2 more rockets for the Starlink satellites. There was a rumor going around saying that what was it? I lost my train of thought. I hate that. Elon Musk is blocking Starlink from Ukraine's use on the tracking the tanks. No, that's not true. That's a hoax and that's a rumor. They are using Starlink to communicate and track where all the tanks and where all the war is and everything else. That was his purpose of setting up, concentrating his satellites up there. So the people in Ukraine and some of the people in Russia could hook up to Starlink and communicate that way. Since Russia was being so paranoid, they don't want any of their people to communicate on the internet. Well, Putin is being an idiot. He really is. He's worse than Un. Oh, another thing, too. Un has set off 2 ICBMs over the weekend, splashing the Pacific Ocean, near Japan, and everything else. And you know what Un needs to do? Either they need to take those rockets, cause them to reverse, and go back to Un with his name on it, and take him out that way. Un's an idiot, too. And he is not doing anybody or anything any favors by treating the people how he's treating his people. I don't like authoritarian utilitarian governments either. They don't fix anything and they don't doesn't help anybody. And people like that, like Kuhn and everything else, they need to be sent off planet somewhere. Bullies, what's the other term? Bullies, dictators, like that, need to be stuck on a rocket and sent off planet somewhere. And they could go fend for themselves. I'm really sick and tired of them. I really am. One person suggested that somebody would take Jeffrey Epstein Island and turn it into a prison type setup where Trump and his cronies and everything else can live on that island, and they'll be required to do their own housework, cook their own meals, and the only thing they get is supplies, needed supplies, but they cannot set foot on the mainland. That's the other suggestion. Right now, we can't use Alcatraz because Alcatraz is not in any shape. It's been let go for so long, and the only thing that's left there, or well, not really the only thing left there. The only thing that's in shape is their jail block cells. It would take millions of dollars to bring it up to code, and make it more secure and everything else. And of course, there's always been a long-standing legend of that island that nobody could escape. Well, there was the thing where the two guys escaped, but nobody really knows that story either because it was been covered up. So, like I said, I don't know. It's interesting though. They should, resurrect Alcatraz and should go back to the federal prison system and no private prisons. Now, New York, they ban private prisons. They don't belong there. And no private prison should belong anywhere. It should be under federal and corrections jurisdiction and no private prisons. Now, people say they go to prison when they lose all rights and everything. Not necessarily. You have to read up on it. But they do have a right to medical care and everything else. They just don't have the right to go out and commit crimes again. No, I know, Dorothy. He should not gain any comfort. He should be, like I said, it should be stark, it should be sparse, and they should be told you need to do your own chores, you need to build a garden, and you need to be self-sufficient. And no comfort, creature comforts. And of course, I don't know if there's any landline connection to that island to the States or not. If not, then they would have to rely on satellite for communication. For ordering products, or ordering supplies only. Or the other option is to put Trump in a maximum security prison and put him in solitary. Put him in there, him and his cronies. And let him rant and rave in his cell all he wants. And nobody should not be able to listen to him. Make it soundproof so they can't hear him. The only thing he hears is himself. Trump has already gone bonkers anyway. He's already lost a number of cases already this past week from New York, including the two rape cases. Now, in New York, I believe there is no statute of limitations. I know he doesn't. He's never learned. I don't think anybody ever taught him. He never learned. But if he's on a cell or he's in an island by himself, he would be forced upon himself to take care of himself. Or if he's in a solitary cell, he would be ordered to go out the exercise yard for 1 hour a day, and then, of course, shower. I think they shower every other day. But it depends how it's set up. Now, I know the Supermax prison in Colorado is pretty strict. because they got a number of killers in there. And so they're stuck in their cells 23 hours a day, except for 1 hour where they have to exercise and shower, or yeah, exercise and shower. And then of course they get their meals sent to their cells, because they don't want them to be in the general population, and it's a supermax for a reason. Now you have your medium security prisons, then you have low security prisons, but it depends on the crime the person has committed and where they go. So anyway, okay, well, I'll review my content and everything. I'll be seeing you on Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow night at John's Blue Dot meeting. Sorry I missed it yesterday. I was watching the minor league football game between the Seattle Sea Dragons and the DC Commanders. I don't know who won that game, because I left after, well, it didn't. I think it went on, but I went to bed about 8:30. I was pretty tired, so. Anyway, I will see you later on Wednesday. Tell everybody hi for me. And I will post this on my YouTube channel. And I hope to get more subscribers there. I need more subscribers on my YouTube channel. So, take care. Love you all. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Oh, be sure to insist, persist, and push back. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.